This is The Last Laugh. I'm Matt Wilstein from The Daily Beast, and today I am so excited to welcome a true comedic force of nature to the show. She is a 3-time Emmy nominee for her work on Saturday Night Live, and her brand new stand-up special, Life Part 2, premieres on Peacock this Friday, October 24th. Leslie Jones, welcome to The Last Laugh.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here.
And also, I did win an Emmy for my Olympic coverage.
Oh, there you go. I neglected to mention you won an Emmy for that,
You
too.
know what? I think many people don't know.
You're an Emmy winner, not just an Emmy nominee.
I know, right? That's so weird.
But I want to start with this new special because I just got a chance to see it and really, really enjoyed it. Life Part 2. Do you feel like you're entering a new phase of life? Is that where the title comes from?
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. It's like my life has taken so many parts. I feel like this is the second part of my life. Because the first part was so development, a lot of developing and growing and becoming who I am. And I think this part, I'm going in with a lot of knowledge and experience. So it's like, okay, so part 2, like it was not an intermission or anything, but maybe the intermission was me just realizing to relax or maturing or whatever. But yeah.
What do you feel like are the big things that you know now that you didn't know, whether it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago? Or what do you feel like your big knowledge?
The worrying and the expecting things from people. It's so crazy. I always expect people to do what I would do. And that is something that I learned that it's not going to happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? Depending on people when you're not supposed to depend on them. Just everything about myself, liking who I am, liking where I finally have landed, liking the way I look, it's so many things that are different now than when I first started comedy.
Your act has always been so high energy, and that is certainly true in this special as well. I was curious, do you have to kind of psych yourself up before you get on stage, or does that just come naturally to you because you've been doing it for so long, or how do you get to the level that you need to be at?
I have to psych myself up.
Yeah, you do?
How can I put this? I don't know if musicians feel this just because musicians are a different type of tool. They got, material that they're going to do and music that they're going to do. But with comedy, you just never know what's going to happen. You never know how a joke is going to land. You never know how a joke is going to affect the audience or if you're going to come up with other stuff. So it's like going and jumping into a pool and hoping that piranhas are not in there. So that's, you're just basically sitting on a diving board going, okay, I'm about to dive in. There's no piranhas here. I promise there's no piranhas. I always tell comedians, when you stop getting nervous, you might want to think about retiring because maybe you don't care anymore. And some people don't call it nervous. Some people call it anxious because that might be more of a way to describe it, is that you're ready to get out there and just do what you do. But there's a little nervous there too.
Well, one big difference between now and maybe when you were starting out is that people know you now. They have a history with you. They know what they're getting into when they go to see you. Does that help versus coming in fresh and people have no idea who you are? Does that make you less nervous, or when you're going to perform for people who know you?
When people don't know who I am, I'm less nervous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because of expectations, you think? Or what is it?
Yeah, like when I used to, like the best spot on a show is the feature, the person right before the headliner. Because nobody knows who you are. Nobody expects you to really be funny. And, when you are funny, it's a great surprise. So when I was a feature, I used to love going up. And I'm still nervous, but more of like, oh, I'm about to kill these motherfuckers. Like, they don't know what they're about to get. Oh, my God, I am about to destroy this audience. So, when now that everybody knows who I am, yeah, it's first of all, I'm dealing with people knowing me from SNL and not from comedy. So I don't want people to think, oh, she thought she was so funny that she should start doing comedy. No, I've been doing comedy since 87, so
Yeah.
You have to deal with that. And then you have to deal with who they might think Leslie Jones is. Again, a lot of people are coming in with the SNL thing and they're like, oh, she's so sweet and she's in love with Colin. Literally, they've been waiting for me to bring Colin up.
They just want you to talk about Colin Jost.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because I do this joke about soulmates and they just knew I was going to say Colin. But I was like, Colin wasn't no damn soulmate. It was an act,
Really? You weren't really in love with him?
Well, the first 3 seasons I was in love.
It seemed real.
It was the first season I was truly in love with him. The second season I started realizing that he's not going to be with me.
Yeah. Was that before or after he got together with Scarlett Johansson?
That was before. Because every time he would have a girlfriend, I would go over to the table and say, so how many times is you going to have me prove my love to you? So I'm going to have to beat this bitch up. But then when he got with Scarlett, I was like, oh, this is serious. This is serious.
Yeah, that's for real.
Every time she would be in his dressing room, I was like, I love her movies. Yeah. She seems like a hard person to hate. She's so nice. She's so nice. And she has a great sense of humor. So, yeah. So but after that, it really did started becoming like, honestly, the first season, I think the first couple of 6 months, I think I had a real crush on him. Then after that, it was more of like, oh, I'm working with him. This is really something that people love, me hitting on him. And I loved hitting on Colin. Oh, my God. He would turn so red. I loved embarrassing him. Oh, my God. And you know what? I would hit on him in front of Lorne. Lorne would die laughing. I'm telling you, so one time we were in the elevator. We were coming from a host meal. And I was like, Colin doesn't like to go into 50th. He doesn't like to go into the 50th. He says it's bad luck or some shit. So we were talking about that, and Lorne was like, yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? And then and I said, I was like, this is the perfect time. I said, so when you gonna come to my house? When we gonna start dating? You like me. And Lauren is dying in the corner. He is dying because Colin is like, Leslie, no.
Well, and Lorne saw something that it was going to work on screen too, I guess, because they kept putting you guys together. So
then they came to me and asked me to do an update, and I was like, well, what am I doing an update on? And I just happened to be doing this slave joke, and that's what they was like, let's do it. But then when I did it at the table, I called him a delectable Caucasian. And that was the beginning. Everybody was like, oh my God, that is hilarious. So that was the beginning of that.
That was before you were actually in the cast, that bit on update, or?
Yeah. That was I did the update at the table. Man, people were dying because it was so funny at the table. At the table, you get to add more stuff. So yeah. Oh God, it was so hilarious. It was.
Did that feel like an audition to be in the cast for you? Because at that point you were hired as a writer, but I think you wanted to be in the cast, right?
I don't know really what I was feeling. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was always like in my head when they hired me as a writer, I was like, yeah, they're not hiring me as a writer for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not no sidekick. You know, I'm not a sidekick.
You're not behind the scenes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know what I have to do. I have to show them what I can do. I have to show them what it looks like. You know what I mean? So anytime that they put me in any sketch or anything I was doing, writing or anything, I was showing them what I could do and how I can affect stuff. So when they told me I could do that update at the table, say less. I went in there with a mission. I knew that they was gonna love it. I knew that they was gonna fall for it. Not fall for it, but take it in. Now, only thing I had to do was go on live and do it the same way. So when we did it in dress, destroyed it in dress. Destroyed it. But see, this is the thing about dress. If you do good in dress, if something does well in dress, it's not going to do good in live. It's kind of like that. Like
you don't want to peak at dress, right?
Well, yeah, like it's like if you do really good at dress, if the show does good at dress, we are so fucking worried about live because we're like, oh, the dress was too good. The live is not going to be as good as the dress, right? So when I came off the stage, Lorne, halftime, everybody was like, yo, your update was dope. Everybody was like, oh, me and Keenan was happy and stuff. And then Lorne called me in his office and he was like, this is what made me fall in love with this man. This is what made me fall in love with this man, because at this moment, I knew that Lorne knew what I was. And all this time he knew. He already knew everything. So he called me in his office and he goes, that was really good. He was like, now do it live. And it was like a coach saying, go out there and fucking score. And I went out there with a mission.
Yeah, you came out hot on the show. I mean, that bit was huge. It got a lot of attention, not all of it positive attention.
Not all of it positive, but
Were you surprised by, I mean, maybe you weren't surprised by how well it went or how you knew it would crush, but were you surprised by the reaction to it? I was
very surprised by the reaction. Very surprised. This was the first time I ever had like a wide circle of people commenting on my shit. I didn't even have like a big social media thing. I think I just had Twitter at the time, and Instagram was just kind of starting. I wasn't really on Instagram. And it was just so odd how people were reacting. And the black people, the way the black people reacted, I was just so surprised, because I had been doing this joke 6 years. 6 years I had been doing that joke, and I did it in white clubs. I did it in black clubs. I did it everywhere, and it destroyed everywhere I went. Soon as I brought it to a platform, people interpreted it. I'm telling you, I've had people come up to me. I had this black man come up to me, and I had to school his ass. He was like, because he saw me at the comic strip. He was like, oh my God, you were so funny. I came in, I didn't really like you because, on SNL, you call black women niggas. What? Where did you see that? No, I said, no, sir. I pulled that shit up. I pulled it up. I said, you look at this again and you see where I called a black woman a nigga. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
What's wrong with y'all?
People, it gets, when something gets on a platform that big, it gets pulled apart, it gets clipped, it gets misinterpreted, it gets,
it's so dumb. And that sketch, that joke, that particular joke came from my dating life. I had a bad date, and I remember exactly when I wrote that joke, and that was maybe 20 years ago. I wasn't even performing this joke. I wrote this joke for Whoopi Goldberg to do. That's what I thought in my head. I was writing for Whoopi. So I said, I was sitting in the middle of the living room. I had just had a bad date, or he stood me up or something like that. And I was eating cold Chinese food. I remember this. And I was like, man, if we was back in the slave days, I'm a fucking Mandingo. I'm going to get all the best men. I'm going to get all the best men. I cracked up, and I was like, that's a pretty good premise. And I wrote it down. And I was like, when I meet Whoopi, I'm going to give her that joke, because she's smart enough to do that joke.
Yeah. You didn't think you could do it?
No. Because I wasn't as funny yet. At least I didn't think. And to be honest, I wasn't funny enough yet to do that joke. You have to be smart to do jokes like that.
Yeah. And cut to 20 something years later, you're playing Whoopi Goldberg on SNL.
It's just so surreal, dude. It's so surreal. It's so absolutely so. Matter of fact, I look like her, right?
Yeah, you got kind of a Whoopi look going.
And it was so funny because I used to imitate her I just could only do one word, you know?
That's
And
good.
I would
Yeah,
do
I
that.
like that.
I would do that.
That's all you need.
And Keaton and Kate would always try to help me, extend it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the first time I got to play her, which was just, I remember kind of crying a little bit because I was like, this is insane. Whoopi Goldberg knows who I am. I'm about to play her. She was like, I want to send you some glasses so you can do it right. Like,
Oh, wow.
it was just absolutely like meeting Eddie Murphy, meeting all these people that I'd watched on TV and laughed at. And it's like, I'm looking and talking to them and they think that I'm funny. It's insane.
Hey guys, I'm excited to tell you about Inside Trump's Head, a new podcast from The Daily Beast, hosted by Trump biographer Michael Wolff and the Beast's resident provocateur, Joanna Coles. 3 times a week, Michael and Joanna unpack what's really going on inside the mind of the world's most unpredictable man, Donald Trump, bringing you unflinching access and insight you won't find anywhere else. If you've ever wondered what the hell is Trump thinking and who hasn't, you don't want to miss these conversations. Subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on YouTube and the next day on your favorite podcast platforms. To back up a little bit, I mean, I think people might know that you got hired at SNL during this very public search to add Black women to the show. Sashir Zameda got in the cast. You got on as a writer and then joined the cast. Now, with Ego Nwodum leaving the show, deciding to leave, there's once again no Black women in the cast of SNL. And I just I'm curious what you think of that. I don't think they planned it that way because they might not have known she was going to leave
I don't
sort of
think
last
they
minute.
But
absolutely. Do you think that's a problem?
Me and Lauren talked about this a lot. It's really hard to run that show. You know that, right? It's like, Lauren has to be literally a musician. Like he has to make people in Cali laugh and he has to make people in Omaha laugh at the same thing, So trying to keep up with a machine like that, because that place is definitely an institution. I don't think they get to see as many Black women as they need to see. Does that make sense?
Well, until they went out and said, we're going to make an effort to do it,
until they
right?
made an effort to go out and pull some people. And that's what I hate to say it, but that is what you have to do for Black women because we're not everywhere. We're not in the sketch groups and the famous ones. They have Black women sketch groups, a lot of them, but they don't get the love that the other sketch groups get. So looking for a Black woman for SNL, because when I got on there, you remember Keenan had made this statement and which was misquoted. They misquoted him, but he was right about you have to have your shit ready when you go to SNL. There's no such thing as coming in there thinking I'm Black just because I'm Black and I do this, I'm going to make it. No, they are looking for someone who can take them across the board, who could take, I don't know what it is. I think I had a magic of being able to make shit out of Shinola. I don't, I just very good at expressing and being, I think I had that element.
Yeah, well, you have a presence and a,
right.
I mean,
So he, I feel like I was a little different, but like, looking for a Black woman it takes some time. This is what I would say for SNL. I would want them to start taking more time to do it because it does take a little bit more effort to find a Black woman cast member to me than it does a white woman cast member. I hate to say it that way, but you have to go and search for them, and they're out there. There's so many women I could send them, and I do. And I tell them and I suggest and I go, hey, look at this girl. Hey, look at this girl. I send them stuff all the time, so it's that's not an easy thing to do to find that replacement. And I don't think they expected Ego to leave. because in those years they are looking, they are always looking, you know. So of course, that's the first thing I said when I went up there. I was like, wait a minute, there's no black women on the cast. I was like, so are they going to go back to the black men being the black women? I hope not.
Yeah, that was a big problem, right? Like
yeah.
Whoopi as an example. Like Kenan didn't want to play Whoopi anymore.
Yeah, I don't think Kenan's going to let them do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if later on this season they add a black woman.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm glad you reminded me because I had a list that I was going to send him too. So
nice. When you joined, you were the oldest cast member to ever join the show as well. Did it feel like when you joined the show at that time, was it something that you even thought was something you could do? I mean, was it something that you wanted, or did it just kind of fall in your lap? Or
I just think that bringing age is so dumb. Like I hated that.
That was what people always talk about.
Yeah, but I didn't know I was old until I joined the cast. I always thought I was a young chick. And then when I joined SNL, I became old in the motherfucker. Like, oh, she the oldest person. She the oldest person to ever walk Earth. Oh, she the oldest person to ever
I'm sorry to bring it up. I didn't.
No, not like that. No, I'm just saying it's just like that's the way that the media played it. It was like, well, she's too old. How's she gonna be able to live? How's she gonna be able to read the script? She can't see. She old. It was like, no. I was running circles around them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I've never thought of myself as old. And
I think, but there's a positive to it, right? Too, because I think you had the confidence, and you had, I think even in thinking about your relationship with Lorne Michaels is maybe different than some of the really young people who come in there, and he's like this, guy who is a god to them, and
my relationship with Lauren and Higgins was completely different from everybody else because I was like, you're not going to talk to me like you talk to them fucking kids. Like, I'm a grown ass woman. I'll whoop your ass. I think I told Higgins one time. I said, who the fuck you talking to, Higgins? I know you're not talking to me. You ready to fight, motherfucker? Because I'll kill you. Don't you talk to me like that. I'm a grown ass woman. Like me and you, when we on the insurance, when we marking our age on the insurance, me and you mark the same box, motherfucker. Don't you talk to me like that. Like, and Lauren was like, for me, I wanted to break Lauren out. He was like, it was just like Devil Wears Prada. He gets off the elevator. You motherfuckers start running. It's crazy. When he got off the elevator, I would run full speed to Lauren and grab him and be like, hi!
Did it take a while for him to warm up to that, or was he right on board from the beginning?
He loved that shit. He loved that shit because I would tell him everything that was going on. I'd be like, Lauren, you know what? What's the name that did it? And I would tell him, me and him would text each other middle of the night. Like, and Kenan even said, he was like, you and Lauren's relationship is fucking weird. Like, that is fucking, what the fuck? Yeah, I was like, I'm telling you, if me and Lauren met, I would have been his baby's mama.
Yeah.
I tell him that all the time. So, like, it was just like me, I brought we play baseball on Saturday. I brought that energy into the game. Like, we're playing fucking baseball every Saturday. This is crazy. And it was like electrifying, I think. I woke up people there, So when they were saying the oldest, I was like, well, the most experienced, the most spicy, bitch, the most, the most veteran, the most seasoned.
Yeah, definitely.
So I always tell people, like, it doesn't matter what fucking age you are. Unless you dead, you can still do whatever the fuck you want. So no, I didn't think I couldn't do it. I thought that I could do it more than anybody that was there. Yeah. I was very cocky about it.
And in a lot of ways you did, yeah. I mean, and you've spoken about, some of the more difficult situations and clashes with people that you had behind the scenes. It seems like from the outside that you and Lorne did have this incredible mutual respect. Did you ever clash with him or have any conflict?
Oh my God, yes. We used to argue all the time, but we would always make up.
Yeah.
I would be like, Lauren, I would fuss about me maybe not being in a sketch or something, or I'd be like, tell the writers they need to write for me, and woo woo woo, and then we would fight about something, and then I'd be like, I'm sorry, and he'd be like, I'm sorry too. And then I know it's like, or he'll send me flowers, or it's just Yeah, we got
Yeah,
into it
there
all
is a
the
little bit of
time.
that. I don't know if you've gotten to read the giant biography that I have behind me somewhere here of Lorne, but they talk about the week that the writer spent at the show. I think you do come up a bit as someone who, he's talking to about just not in enough and trying to figure out, like, maybe you were upset that you weren't in enough that week, or that was something that you would deal with from time to time.
Oh, wait a minute. He said that about me?
Yeah, I think they talk about that in the book. That yeah, your name comes up.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, well, yes. And then, like, you know what's so weird? Like, some weeks, right, I would have 4 or 5 sketches, right?
Yeah.
And it was fine. And then some weeks I wouldn't have sketches, but then it started getting to the point where we were okay with not having sketches. Like,
Yeah.
because we were so tired, you know what I'm saying? So if I didn't have sketches that week, I would like not say nothing because I'd be like,
Yeah,
okay, good, I
it's
get to
fine,
kick it.
yeah.
But it started to becoming to where no, I needed to be on. Like one week I didn't want to do something, and he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to call them and tell them that you don't want to be on the show this week. And I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. He was like, well, and it's like, oh shit, like I'm an important part, but
Yeah.
I'm still not SNL,
Yeah, well, it's hard to say no, or you're not supposed to say no probably to things, right?
Well, yeah, and then two, I remember one time too, and I had to take it on the chin because I remember my temptation moment. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, but it was just like he was like, you know what, Leslie, you're so good, but you're not SNL, and I had to take that because that's true. I'm not. SNL will still go on when I leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what you're supposed to do here and move on.
I did see that you were in the second most watched sketch of all time on YouTube. I don't know if you know that.
Which one?
Which is Black Jeopardy with Tom Hanks.
Oh, wait a minute. Wow, wait a minute. Oh, the first one, right?
I don't know
Not
if
the
was that
second
the first one with Tom Hanks as the sort of he's in the MAGA hat.
Because there was 2 of them. They did one on the 50th, but they did one
right.
originally.
The 50th, he brought it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That was a
so
great
funny.
one.
Yeah, it was a great one. No, what was so great is that no one knew. Wait a minute. I'm sorry that keep hitting me.
It's okay.
Ringing, and I'm on phone. Send food up. Okay. Yeah. What was so crazy is that no one knew that that Tom was going to do that.
Yeah.
So when Keenan went to go towards him and he went back, everybody was like, fuck, man, that dude is so fucking good, man. It's so fucking good. But like on the second one, I told him don't do that same move because I knew that MAGA was going to trip out.
The handshake, the pullback on the handshake.
I told him he should have dapped him up.
Yeah, that became a became a big thing. That was like the biggest thing out of the 50th was people were not happy about.
They were so mad, and I remember in rehearsal. I said to Tom, you should probably do something different, like maybe dap him up or give him a handshake or something, or throw the hat something. But I think at the time, they don't always listen to me. I don't. Sometimes I think. I don't know. It's still that type of world. Sometimes when women speak, we're not really heard. I would think that people would listen to me because I'm funny as fuck.
Yeah. Well, you could have helped him dodge a bullet on that one, I guess.
Yeah. But that was a kind of a crazy experience. It was kind of surreal. Like Tom is on the stage with you should have seen him. It was just like Eddie Murphy, Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, all these people. And, he's standing there with comic greats, that's a hard little place to be.
Yeah. It reminded me of, we just had Beck Bennett on the show pretty recently, and he was telling the story about the week that Trump was there as the host and the table read where he took a call and then told everyone that it was about his book going to #1. And he said that Beck said that you were the one who spoke up and called him out and said, I don't think that's what you were talking about on the phone. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember him walking into the room with all of his all the sketches. He looked like a scared little boy. And, you know, men like that, narcissists, have got to do something to make themselves feel. So when he picked up the phone and did that and then closed it, I said, "What's that about, Trump? What's that about? How much money you about to make?" And then he's like, "The book thing." And I was like, "That ain't what you was talking about." You know, just to try to make him feel a little comfortable. You know, at the time, I didn't know he was who he was. I really did not.
You didn't
I
feel
just
like
thought
it
he
was
the
you thought
apprentice.
it was okay that he was.
I just thought he was the fucking apprentice. I never took that dude serious. I never took that dude serious. And everybody was so uptight and scared. And I mean, I just remember sitting at the host meal because I had to go to the host meal. And Keenan, for some reason, wasn't there because I usually don't go to the host meal unless Keenan goes.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, Keenan couldn't come that night, but Taryn was there. And I remember turning to Taryn, and I was just making a joke. It was Trump, then Melania, then Lindsay Shookus, then Ivanka, and Jared was sitting beside me. Wow. And I had already noticed that Jared, because like we was trying to share fish, he wouldn't eat off the plate that I would eat on. So I already knew what was up, right? Yikes. So I looked at Taryn and I said, if I kill this whole side of the table, maybe I'll save the world. And then Taryn was like, "Let me get my food to go first because I don't want to be in here when you do that." But and I always think back, was I supposed to do it?
Yeah. Things would be different. I don't know. You would
I
be
would have saved the world. I would be in jail,
Wouldn't
but
be
I would
great
have
for
saved
you,
the
but...
world.
I love that sketch too, where you auditioned to play Trump as part of the show behind the scenes, and you get to act with Lorne in that sketch. Where did that? Was that your idea, or where did that come from?
Yes. Okay. So actually, you know, I really wanted to play Trump. I went and talked to Lorne and everything. I was like, what else would be hilarious if I played Trump? Like, it would piss him off and I would play it so good. Like, and Lorne was like, "No." So I was like, this is fucked up. This is fucked up, Lorne. You don't never let me play stuff that I like to do. And then I went back and I was sitting in the office with Keenan and I forgot who ended up writing it. I think Kyle and Beck and them wrote it. I'm not really sure, but everybody started coming and going, "Yo, we're going to write a sketch with you wanting to be Trump." And I was like, fuck yeah. Then Lorne can see I could be Trump. And they're like, "That's not going to happen." But I was like, "I'm telling you, I'm going to do Trump so good. He's going to make me Trump." So we did. When we got to do the office thing, Lorne kept saying, "You're not going to be Trump, but I'm going to let you beat me up." Let you beat me up. So it was so fun. That was really fun. It was tedious because the director, I didn't really like him, but it turned out to be a really good pre-tape.
Was it a difficult decision for you to leave the show when you did? Was it something that you thought about a lot, or?
Very difficult because, you know, usually you have to get 7 years. But I knew that I couldn't stay 7 years. If I was younger, if they had got me in my 20s or 30s, I would have been there at least 10 years, at least 10 seasons. But since I was older and at this point, they had started making me like a character of myself. So it was not, people wouldn't really put me in the sketches because, you know, what I realized when I left was that anytime I'm in a sketch, even if I'm not saying anything, I'm going to take over the sketch. Like, and it's,
your energy was such that no one could compete with you on screen.
Yeah, but I hated that because I was like, then write me like I can play the Lord. And they was like, you walk on, people start.
That's kind of the audience expectation too, right? It's like what people want from you.
So it started getting to where I know that they couldn't really, I'm not saying I wouldn't, I had a lot of moments, but they wasn't really giving me what I needed there. Like I was starting to become just like, I didn't like who I was becoming there. Yeah. So, I remember thinking this is going to be a really hard decision because first of all, I don't think Lorne's going to let me go. And two, I'm scared that, what's going to happen when I do leave. But then I also remembered that I was a comic. I was a comic first. I was a really good comic. And I'm going to be okay. I believe in myself. And, Lorne, we had a long talk, of course, we went through all that. I knew he was going to pull all the, hey, we'll pay you more. Hey, we'll give you this. Hey, we'll do this. Mm-hmm. And then it started coming down to, hey, I don't want you to lose your fame. And it just came back down to, listen, I believe in myself and I got to go. I got to go before I can't go. Mm. You know what I'm saying? And he just said the good ones always want to leave. So, yeah.
Except for Keenan.
Yeah, Keenan is a rock.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And he's awesome. He's so awesome. He's such a rock. And oh my God. Well, if he does leave, I don't know if that show will survive without him.
Yeah.
He's so SNL, like I said, SNL, and I'm not SNL, but Keenan's SNL.
Yeah.
Keenan's SNL,
You've said in other interviews that you don't really miss doing the show week to week. I'm curious what it was like for you to go back for the 50th, to be there, to see everybody, to be in that building. And
nerve-wracking. Well, you walk back, it's just surreal. You go, oh, I used to work here. And then you go, oh, I'm glad I'm not working here no more. Because it's stressful. You see people running around. You see what it was, what we used to do. And I was like, ooh-wee, I am too old for this. I was so glad that I don't have to do this. But I mean, the place will always, when I was there, I think they did a sketch that kind of made me tear up a little bit. And I was like, I think it was anxiety. Yeah. Everybody has anxiety at SNL. And it made me tear up a little bit because I was like, damn, this is the show,
Yeah.
All the moments like Adam Sandler singing about Chris Farley.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
Everybody there was sobbing, shaking, sobbing.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
It was.
I mean, you've gotten to do, a lot of stuff since you left the show. One thing that I thought you really excelled at that I just loved was when you guest hosted The Daily Show. During that, when they were kind of seemed like they were trying out potential new hosts. I thought you were so good on that show. You did kind of luck out the first night when you had the erotic MLK statue to talk about. I thought that was a particularly good one for you. Was it something that you wanted to do for real? Like, did it feel like that was something that could happen?
When I was going through that process, it did feel like something. I was like, well, I do updates and I'm good at updates. This will be a place where I can do and say what I want and get it out. I was really interested in it, but the
way it works out. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think anyone is brave enough to put a black person on late night yet. I don't think. And you know what's so crazy about it is that that's exactly what they need to do. Like, all you see is the white men in blue suits and black suits doing a monologue, which I love Jimmy. I love Seth. I love Stephen Colbert, but it's all the same. Mm. I'm telling you, you put a black woman on the late night, that will shake shit up. It will shake it up. It will bring some joy. No one is learning how to make money off of people's happiness instead of sadness. Yeah. And that's what we need to turn that to. That's what we need to turn to, because you can make just as much money,
Yeah, I mean, you came back recently on The Daily Show just to do a sort of one-off contributor piece talking about Trump's attempts to, say slavery wasn't so bad. And it did feel to me like you were there because there is nobody else on late night who could do that story the way that you did it.
And also the story really was supposed to be not just about, because we already know that white people got a problem with black people. I wanted to talk about all the other races that races that don't like black people. Like, it really, really is about propaganda that they're being fed. You know, the stereotypes and all of that shit. And you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that other races think about black people. So it's like, why do y'all hate us? Like, what did we do? That's really what the piece was supposed to be about. I think they was just a little bit too scared to go there. I'm not. I'm never scared to go there because it's stuff that we need to fucking talk about. This is something that we really need to talk about. Racism is not racism is uneducation, you know? So it was very important for me to do that. So that's why. But again, you know, all these shows have you know, a wall up. You know, everybody's too scared to step out, and somebody need to do it. You know, and I think my fearlessness maybe scares people, you know, or they go, oh, we don't know if we could trust you on camera. You know, because I used to say to Lorne whenever he would make me mad, I'd be like, you motherfuckers keep trusting me on camera. You keep trusting me on camera. Keep putting me out there live, trusting me. Yeah, you know, but I'm Leslie Jones. I'm a quarterback. I am never going to fuck up my shit. You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks don't fuck their shit up. Quarterbacks still play good even if they know they're about to get traded because they want to go to a good team. So
going back to your special, you have this really great bit right in the middle where you talk about what would have happened to you if you had made it in Hollywood when you were in your 20s. And of course you get into, you know, you would have slept with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby and Jeffrey Epstein. But do you feel like there's truth to that? I mean, I know it's a you know, it's a comedy bit, but is there truth to like are you glad that you didn't make it in Hollywood when you were in your 20s and that it took some time?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have burnt the fuck out. I think about that all the time. I was like, my 20s, I'm so fucking stupid. I was so stupid. I know I would have slept with Harvey. I know I would have. Just because, why not? Fuck it. I sleep with dudes for nothing. That was my attitude. Bro, what, you gonna put me in a movie? Yeah, you get some pussy. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some pussy. I mean, that's in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I didn't know no fucking better. You know what I mean? Your brain don't develop until you're 25. And even when you're 25, you're still stupid as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was crazy whorish in my 20s.
Where do you think you'd be now if you had blown up?
Oh my God, burnt the fuck out. Probably. I don't know. You know, I had a lot of people praying for me, so maybe I would have been all right.
So now it's time for our segment called The First Laugh. So I'm going to run through some quicker questions with you, starting with the first piece of comedy that made you laugh really hard as a kid growing up. What comes to mind? Oh,
Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor talking about when he see a switch tree, he'll jump out and kill that switch tree. He's like, you ain't gonna be beating nobody. I asked one of my favorite. It's the joke that hit me so hard because I was like, this motherfucker knows my life. Oh my God. Why does he know about that? So yeah, that's the first thing that touched me in my belly.
What about the first time that you knew that you were funny, that you could make other people laugh?
I think the first time I performed comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always making people laugh, but I didn't know I was doing it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Until you got up for the first time to tell jokes?
So I got up for the first time and I was like, oh shit, I might be kind of funny. But I wasn't sure, but I kind of felt, yeah, maybe I think I might be funny.
Was there a first joke or bit that you wrote that really worked on an audience that you felt really good about?
Yep. I went on this date with a dude. It didn't really end like I did the joke, but it was my first physical joke when I was running from him. He was chasing me in the car and I was running from him. That was I won an award with that joke. So that was the first real joke I wrote.
You met so many people through SNL and through everything else. Is there a comedy hero that you got to meet for the first time and just what it was like to meet them?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was going to pass out when she walked in.
Yeah. Where did you meet her?
I could not
at SNL or?
No, at The View. I did an interview at The View. It was the first time I went to The View and she came in and I was just like, I just started bawling. I was just like, I can't believe I'm meeting you.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that. And I even bawled in the interview. I tried not to, but it was just like, I can't believe that she's here and she knows my name.
Yeah, she has that effect on people, it seems.
I have never met Oprah, but Oprah waved at me when I went up. I was with RuPaul and we was announcing at the Emmys.
Yeah.
And I looked down and she goes, and I was like, fucking Oprah knows me. Fucking Oprah. Like that shit, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
The last question that we ask on the show, is there a story or memory from your career that makes you laugh now, but really was not funny when it happened?
Oh, yes. So many, but I will say, let me pick a good one. The one that came to me straight when you asked it was I was auditioning for a BET and I wore this outfit and I was sweating like a son of a bitch. It was just sweat. It was awful. I got the job, but everybody was like, Leslie stinks.
But you were funny.
I was funny. Wow. But I remember this comedian, Brad, he took me in his car. He was like, I just want to talk to you for a minute now. You know, you can't wear stuff like that if you know you sweat. I was so embarrassed.
It all worked out, though.
It worked out, yeah.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much for doing this. This was so much fun. And as I said, I love your new special, Leslie Jones Life Part 2.
You do like it?
Yeah, premieres this Friday, October 24th on Peacock, so everyone should check it out. And thank you so much.
You think it's going to do well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
You're fantastic. Thank you
That
so
makes me
much for
feel
being
good.
here.
Thank you, Matt.